Hello boys and girls. It is wonderful to be with you today. I am Teacher Sankita from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Raja Ali, which is located in Kuala Lumpur. Now, before we start, do you have your notebook and pen with you? If you do, then let's get started. Today, we are going to learn about linear inequalities. At the end of today's lesson, you should be able to compare the values of numbers using the inequality symbols, form linear inequalities in one variable based on real-life situations, and solve problems involving linear inequalities in one variable. So, are you ready? Let's go! Pupils, do you know that linear inequalities are often used in our daily lives? Have you ever noticed this signboard while you are traveling on highways? What does it mean? Yes, this is a traffic sign. This indicates the maximum speed of 80 km per hour where vehicles may travel on a given stretch of road. This is an example of linear inequalities. Boys and girls, how can we write this inequality in mathematical form? In Chapter 1, which is called Rational Numbers, you have learned how to compare the value of an integer with another integer based on its position on a number line. In this chapter, you shall write this comparison by using mathematical symbols. Oh yes, to write this inequality in mathematical form, we need to understand the symbols used. Let us look at these symbols. Here are the symbols that usually represent inequalities. The first symbol is known as less than. The second symbol is called greater than. Next, less than or equal to. Finally, greater than or equal to. All these four symbols are used to show the relationship between two values in linear inequalities. For example, observe the position of the pair of numbers which are -2 and 3 on the number line. -2 lies to the left of 3. Therefore, -2 is less than 3. So, -2 is less than 3 is written as follows. Another example, observe the position of the pair of numbers -7 and -2 on the number line. -2 lies to the right of -7. Therefore, -2 is more than -7. Pupils, can you help me to fill in each box with the correct symbols of inequality? Here, we have number 5 and 12. As we can see, 5 is less than 12. So, we use the symbol less than. Thus, fill in the box with the less than symbol to represent 5 is less than 12. Now, how about 17 and 8? 17 is greater than 8. So, we have to fill the box with the symbol greater than. How about -6 and 1? -6 is less than 1. So, we use the symbol less than. Let's look at some examples of the use of linear inequalities in real life and then model the situation mathematically using the symbols. Pupils, do you know how to form linear inequalities based on the daily life situations? The first situation. As you know, an individual needs to be a minimum of 18 years old to have a driving license. So, how can we write an inequality for this situation? There are few steps we need to follow. First, recognize the variable in this situation and represent it using a letter. So, in this situation, the variable is age. Thus, I use the letter Y to represent the variable. Second, use the correct inequality symbol to represent the statement. Notice the sentence minimum of 18 years old, which means that Y is 18, 19, 20, and so on. Hence, the linear inequality representing this situation will be Y is greater than or equal to 18. Now let's have a look at the second situation. Mak Kia sends her daughter to daycare for not more than 9 hours daily while she is working. So, how can we write the inequality for this situation? The variable is hours spent in the daycare, and we represent it using the letter H. The statement is not more than 9 hours daily, which means 9 hours is the maximum duration. This implies the time should be less than or equal to 9 hours. Thus, the linear inequality is H is less than or equal to 9. Let us see another example. The highest number of plastic bottles collected through the recycling campaign by SK Mei Chin is 432 bottles. How can we write this situation mathematically? Yes, since the highest number is 432, this means 432 bottles is the maximum number of bottles collected. This implies that the number of bottles should be 432 and less. We can write this as B is less than or equal to 432. So pupils, now you are able to recognize other examples on how to form real-life situations based on linear inequalities. Now, we are going to solve problems involving linear inequalities in one variable. Linear inequality in one variable is an unequal relationship between a number and a variable to the power of 1. Observe these algebraic inequalities. 3x is less than 7. Notice the power of variable x is 1. Next, we have y minus 4 is greater than 5 plus 2y. The power of the variable y is 1. These are known as linear inequalities in one variable. Solving a linear inequality in x is to find the value of x that satisfies the inequality. The process of solving linear inequality is similar to solving linear equations. However, we need to consider the sign of the inequality symbol when solving linear inequalities. Here are a few rules to be applied in the sign of the inequality symbol when solving linear inequalities. Number 1. The inequality symbol remains unchanged when adding or subtracting a positive or negative number to or from both sides of the inequality. 2. The inequality symbol remains unchanged when multiplying or dividing both sides of the inequality by a positive number. But the inequality symbol is reversed when multiplying or dividing with both sides of the inequality by a negative number. 3. When both sides of the inequality are multiplied by -1, the direction of the inequality symbol is reversed. And lastly, when performing reciprocal of both numbers on both sides of the inequality, the direction of the inequality symbol is reversed. Let us look at the given linear inequality. X plus 6 is less than 10. How do we solve this? So, the solution is subtract 6 from both sides of the inequality. Then, the values of x will be less than 4, which means x is equal to 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, and etc. We can also use a number line to represent the inequality relationship of x less than 4 as shown. Next example. Let us look at the given linear inequality. -2 over 5x is greater than or equal to 2. How do we solve for x? Remember, solving a linear inequality in x is to find the value of x that satisfies the inequality. The process of solving linear inequality is similar to solving linear equations. However, in this situation, we need to consider the direction of the inequality symbol when solving linear inequalities. So, the solution is as follows. Multiply both sides of the inequality by -5 over 2. Notice the inequality symbol is reversed because both sides of the inequalities were multiplied by a negative number. Then the values of x will be less than or equal to -5. Let's look at another example. Jasmine has Ringgit Malaysia 152. She wants to buy a present for her sister on her birthday. She bought a skirt for Ringgit Malaysia 15 and a handbag for Ringgit Malaysia 45. She wants to buy a blouse too. How much will be her maximum budget for a blouse? Now, what does it mean by the sentence, she bought a skirt for Ringgit Malaysia 15 and a handbag for Ringgit Malaysia 45? How can we represent this using inequality? We can represent the situation into linear inequality, which is b plus 15 plus 45 is less than or equal to 152. Then, solve for b. We will get the answer for b, which is b is less than or equal to 92. That means her maximum budget for a blouse is Ringgit Malaysia 92. Let's look at this example. You have just been hired as a salesperson in a company. You have two salary options. You are offered a salary of Ringgit Malaysia 500 per week without commission, or a salary of Ringgit Malaysia 200 per week plus 5% commission from your weekly sales. What is the value of the product you must sell each week to allow the salary option with commission to be the better option? Give your justification. Now pupils, what is the variable in this situation? Here, the variable is the weekly sales, and we can represent it by the letter X. Since the salary with commission is stated as Ringgit Malaysia 200 per week plus 5% commission of the weekly sales, hence, we can write the salary with the commission as 200 plus 5/100 multiply X, and this salary must be greater than 500, which is the salary without the commission. Thus, we can represent this situation using linear inequality, that is 200 plus 0.05x greater than 500. Subtracting both sides of the inequality by 200, we will get 0.05x is greater than 300. Now, dividing both sides by 0.05 will give you x is greater than 6,000. So, what does this mean? It means that in order to have the salary with commission to be the better option, then the product sales must be worth more than Ringgit Malaysia 6,000. Now, it's your turn to solve some questions. Are you ready? Here are the questions. You may also discuss the answers with your mathematics teacher. Good luck! So pupils, we have come to the end of the lesson. You are now able to compare the values of numbers using the inequality symbols, form linear inequalities in one variable based on real-life situations, and solve problems involving linear inequalities in one variable. Before I end the lesson today, let us recap on the steps you can use in solving linear inequalities. Step 1. Determine how you should label the variables. Step 2. Form a linear inequality. Step 3. Make sure all information is used to form the inequality. And step 4. Complete the calculation. So pupils, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Thank you and goodbye.